Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. My name is Dean, coming to you live through the power of that internet. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Gikfun Mini Electronic Transparent Stereo Speakers. This is a do-it-yourself kit that I ordered off of Amazon. They go for about 18 bucks. It's a great little kit. Get you into stereo speakers. It comes with a circuit board that you have to install all the parts. One word of caution, there is one surface mount IC on there that is very, very tiny. We will go into how to install that chip as well. Once again, this is a neat little do-it-yourself project, especially for beginners or newbies. So with that, why don't we get started, and we'll take a look at what comes inside the box. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Again, this is Dean coming to you live through the power of that internet. And today we're going to be taking a look at a little speaker kit. Now, this is the Gikfun Mini Electronic Speaker Box Do-It-Yourself Kit Sound Amplifier for Arduino. A lot of words there. I did pick this off of Amazon for approximately about 18 bucks that you can get this for. And what I wanted this for was for my gaming notebook. Just a set of small little speakers that could be attached for a little better gaming experience. And they're small and portable, so they'd fit. It looks like they'd fit pretty decent inside my bag. Also, we're going to see about modifying these guys a little later and possibly making these Bluetooth, so wireless, so then I can use them with my cell phone as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll open up the box here. And we got some instructions. Not too complicated here. A little bit of wiring diagram on how to connect both the speakers up. Schematic of the board. Alright. Nothing on the back. And let's get right into it. Alright, so here are the little speakers. You know, I'm not sure how big these speakers are to begin with. I'd have to look it up. I think they're 2.5-inch speakers. Heck, I got a ruler here. We'll take a look at them in just a second. Let's see if we can get this thing open. There we go. There we go. There's kind of a close look up on the speakers. They don't look too bad. 4 watts, or 4 ohms, 3 watts. Get my ruler out. We'll take a look, see how big these guys are. All right, 2-inch. They're actually 2-inch speakers. You can see there. So not tremendously big. All right, let's get stuff out of here. Let's get the box out. Again, we'll do some camera magic here, and we'll take all these apart, and it's going to take forever to get all these labels off, so I'll speed that up when the time comes. So we'll just take these off here. You can see we got quite a few. And again, you gotta one thing to be aware of with these kits: they do not come with instructions. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure these things out. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. No pun intended. And I like doing these little kits. I like making videos of them so that others can see if they actually would want to do them. Alright, here comes the USB power. Okay, this is the wire that goes in between the two speakers. You can see there's 4 wires inside there. I don't know if you can see that up close. Probably not. but there are 4 different wires in there. Tiny, tiny little circuit boards. It's kind of nice to have everything all labeled on them. So that should be pretty easy peasy. Get some more cable. We'll find out where that goes to. This other circuit board. And a bunch of screws, standoffs, nuts and bolts. So again, 90% of this is going to be putting the case together, actually, as opposed to the soldering and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm just taking a look at this board here real quick, and they do not list. A lot of times on the board, they'll actually list the values of the components. They just have like R3, R4, and the LEDs outlined there. So yeah, on the schematic, you will see they have them listed here. So we will go ahead and get started. I'll zoom in so that you can get a little better look at the building process here. And I'm controlling actually the camera with my phone so that it doesn't shake at all. So that is a little close-up of the schematics. I may have to turn off the white balancing because it seems to be darkening it up automatically. So I may have to correct that a little later. So there's the schematics. And we'll go ahead. Now when you do kits like this, what you really want to start out with is with the smallest components first. Okay? And what I mean by that is the resistors and the things of those natures, those are actually closer to the circuit board, and so you want to put those components on first so that when you flip over the circuit board, the parts don't fall out when you go to solder them. So let's get started here. Now, I don't see any difference in the boards. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with just one, and I'll set the other one aside. And we'll put the resistors in first, and then we'll solder everything up. All right. So let me get my multimeter out, and we'll check these to make sure I got the right values. But from the schematics, R1 was 22K. So we'll see how many of those we have on the board. And wow, okay, so we only have one 22K resistor. So we probably have one for the other board too. I don't know, although the other board came with its own resistors. So we'll start out with that. So I will, I'm going to actually use my needle nose pliers as soon as I can find it here. And we will bend that over. Let's get my cutters out. And again, those guys are pretty close, so I'm gonna bend it over pretty darn close. Alright, so that's 22K. Is R1. Alright. Boy, look at that, 5-band resistors. Precision. Alright. Next one, we need a 10K. Put one of those in. Actually, we got two 10Ks. So we will get those out here, 10Ks. Now this is the second kit that I've made in the last couple days here. So hopefully I'll remember to keep my head out of the video. I felt so bad that first video I did as I had my dumb head in the shots. Especially when I was soldering it. Which didn't make for a good video. Fortunately, I wasn't going to unsolder it all to do another retake. But you live and you learn. It's okay to make a mistake once, just don't do it again, right? Alright, we got those in there. Now we got a 330 ohm resistor that needs to go in there. I believe that's the last of the resistors on this board. So then what I'll do is I will solder these guys on real quick. And we'll go to the next part. Alright, so what I'll do is I will set this down. And we will zoom up way close on that so you can watch. Now when you go to solder, I always try and use the largest soldering tip possible. Makes it go much quicker because the tip can hold a lot more heat in it. Whereas opposed if you use the a small conical tip, you got to heat the tip up way high, and it does not work very well. So I always tell people to make sure that they use the largest tip possible. Okay, so here we go. Now, I'm trying to keep my head out of the way here, so it might not be perfect. And you always want to put the iron on one side. I'm actually going to get closer. You always want to put the iron on one side, have the wire in the middle, and then the solder on the other side. Because the solder with the flux built into it will flow towards the heat. Okay? Nope, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Get that in focus. Come on, focus. There you go. Get a little more light on there. Alright. So. Yep, so. See how fast that goes? The key is you don't want to take a lot of time on the parts, because doing that you may damage them. Now resistor you're not going to have much problem with, but if you have a semiconductor type device, you really want to make sure that you're not lingering too long on the lead. There's other things that you can do, such as Oop, let's get her in there. There we go. Alright. Let's take a look at that. Oops, sorry. I picked it up to get a little closer to it. That looks pretty good. I think I got them all. Alright, including an extra one there. We'll fix that in a second. So let's snip all those off. Alright, that looks pretty good. I will touch up this one here. Alright, so what I might have to do here is get out some tape. So, yep, I do have I get to see me using some see how good that stuff works. You gotta get good good stuff. Alright. I know a lot of people don't like the flux on there, and we can get rid of that. I do have a ton of alcohol here for removing flux. Or you can use I use alcohol for it, but I also have, you know, being an EMT, I have a lot of alcohol prep pads that I like to use. That doesn't leave any mess on the circuit board. So there we go. Alright, so got the resistors in. Next thing, actually, let's get the potentiometers on there, because they seem to be pretty low to the they seem pretty low to the ground here. So stuck to the speaker here. I'm going to zoom back out again. Alright, so we have two potentiometers, both 10Ks. Okay, where'd the other one go? Yep, there we go. Yep. One's 50K, one's 10K. And they don't delineate which one goes where on the schematics. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can go up there. Alright, so RP2 is a 10K one. Let's get it on there, good. Okay, we'll do this one. Never want to force things. You end up bending them, and then you have problems. Alright, so those are both the same height. Again, we will secure those down a little bit. We'll zoom back in. Nice and easy. Clean up the tip again. Alright, so there we go. Nothing to even clip off on that one. Alright, so we got our resistors on there. Let's go ahead and put our capacitors on there. Oh, and I didn't notice we do have one surface mount part. Oh boy. Okay, well that's alright. We'll show you how to do that one. Didn't see that one. I would have put that on first. But we got other equipment that we can use to put that on and hold the board for us. So let's start out here. One microfarad. So we go on there like that. Remember, electrolytics, they do have polarity on them, so you want to make sure that you get it right. Otherwise, you can burn them up, make them explode. So we definitely want to make sure we get the right one. Another 1 microfarad. So typically the side with the stripes on it is the negative. A lot of times they'll put a little plus or minus on the board as well. Another one. Got a couple 10 microfarads in here. Got one more 1 microfarad. Then we got a 10. And another 10. Sorry, moving around too much. And a large 470 microfarad. Alright, so they're all in there good. We'll flip them over. I tend to bend the leads out just a little bit so that they don't fall over or fall out. Although here they were stuck in there pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and solder this up right away. Now I prefer to use the, I don't care as much to use sponges for soldering. You know, they got the little wet sponge. I prefer to use the one of these brushes to clean the solder off. If you use the sponge, you cool down the soldering iron. That's the last thing you want to do. So you want to keep that heat up there. Again, I got a couple different soldering irons. This one here is believe it or not, it's an older Radio Shack digital soldering station. I love this thing. It's got great controls for it. I've had it for many years, and I've never had any problems with it. I replace the tips every so often for it. Oops. One more to go. All right. Nope. Got the big guy to go yet. Alright, let's cut these leads off and take a look at it again. Gotta get a little bit closer there. Alright. So there we go. With that, got all these little wires around here. Let's see if I can pick them up real quick. Gotta love magnets. Not like a tiny little neodymium magnet to pick up your scrap pieces. Alright, the next part we'll do, I think I'll do the audio chip. That's on there. Looks like we got a bent lead on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll straighten that guy out a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It's not perfectly straight, so we'll just straighten that out off camera. Alright. How do you tell it's pin 1 on these guys? If you look at the chip, this one here's got a slight, the tip of it is cut off a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But the edge right here is beveled, whereas the other side is flat. So that's where your side 1 is. Sometimes they put a dot on this side to let you know that that's side 1, but this side, this chip, all they seem to do is, you see it there a little better. They just beveled that corner off a little bit. And you look on the circuit board, and you can see it's kind of like got the little beveled mark right by the U2 right there. So we will put that on there, and we will solder that onto the board real quick. Alright. I may have to hold it on for a second while I tack on one side of that chip. So I'll just put a little bit of, just like that. There we go. That's all I needed. Now we'll go ahead and we'll turn it over like this. And this will go real fast. Okay. My arm out of there for you. See, nice and smooth. Perfect. See how fast that went? Just inspecting it, make sure all the leads are good. All the joints are nice, no cold solder joints. Alright, we're almost done with this board, believe it or not. Last thing will be that surface mount chip. What I might do is save those two actually for the last thing that I solder on. So now I'm trying to take a look here. We got multiple colored LEDs, and I'm looking to see which LED is what color. Bear with me for a second. Alright, so it looks like green is on the left. Green, 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 yellow, and red. Alright. So, now to put LEDs in, that flat spot is the cathode and the positive is the anode. So they're nice enough on this circuit board to I'll put that on there. Just got to remember, some LEDs do not flatten that section for you. Also, the anode or the positive is usually always the longer lead if there are two leads on there. You just pray that somebody didn't chop it off and for you by mistake. But usually the positive is the longer lead. Trying to do it with one hand here, trying to pick up and move around LED. Here we go. And one more. Alright, so what I'll do is I'm going to bend these a little bit off camera so that they don't move on me. And we'll flip the board over and we'll solder these guys on real quick. Okay, here we go. Again, these will go pretty darn fast. Get some solder ready here. We're just gonna shoot down this strip. Get her done. See how fast that goes? You never want to put too much solder on. You can always have enough flux though. Never have enough flux, but if you need a little bit more after you inspect it after you're done, you can add a little bit more solder on. It's always more of a pain. See, I got a little bit too much solder on that last one. It's always a pain to have too much solder. There we go. And we'll fix that joint. Take a look at it and see if we'll need a few more all right. Let's put a little bit more solder on there. All right, we'll trim those off. Right. Just trying to straighten those LEDs out so that they're perfectly straight. I still have a little bit of a solder bridge in that one. Fix that. All right. Looking good. Doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to be inside the case. You're really not going to see a lot of this. But I like my stuff looking neat. Alright, so there we go. There's the first board. And then these are all just where we're going to stick the wires in. And we'll Get them all straight here. Alright, straight enough. Go to the next board. Let's pick up some of that mess I got here. Pick up some of these leads. Okay. Alright, there's the second board. Go ahead and start putting that one together. Actually, let's hold off on that for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of surface mount soldering. And you can see how we do that. And usually I just tack it on with the solder, but we're going to go a little all out on that. We'll just show you how to attach surface mount devices right away. So let me stop and we'll get that hooked up real quick. Alright everybody, now we're going to take a look at doing some soldering of a surface mount device. I do have my microscope out, and I'll be looking at the microscope, so hopefully it will be in the frame. I apologize if I don't have it completely in the frame. And what we're going to be using is solder paste today and a hot air gun. Now I got two of these chips to do, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, we don't have any. All right. What's kind of neat about this technique is that you'll see how that part with the solder mask is actually sucked onto the pads. Okay, that's perfect. You usually don't need too much solder on there. May put a little bit of flux on there, but you shouldn't have to use too much flux. As you can see, pin number 1 is clearly marked on here. And I'm not over the top of it. I'm actually a ways away from arm's length away. So this is a little harder. It'd go much faster if I wasn't looking at it from such a distance and at such a different angle. Okay. A little extra there is not going to be too much of a problem. I'll just take my tweezers and scoot that over a little bit. Okay. Same with over here. Alright, now we'll get the chip on there. Now it's really neat how the what's really neat is how it'll be sucked on to the you can see the part for pin 1. Like I said, I'm not sitting in front. I'm about an arm's length away. So let me get in there again and carefully put that chip on there. If I was right over it, it'd go a lot quicker. Let's get her straight. If you don't have it exactly straight, she'll actually be sucked onto the pad. So it's kind of neat. You'll see that in just a second when we apply some heat to it. Okay, then we'll move it up a little bit. Now just got to be careful. If you get too much paste on there, you're going to get solder bridges. We want to avoid those. So that looks pretty good. So now I'll grab my hot air gun. I'm just going to push down on the top just to make sure that chip is on there good. Okay. I'll get the hot air gun in there. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Kind of careful, you don't want to bake it too hot because you can melt other things off. All right. I'm looking at the microscope and probably that looks actually pretty darn good. Just gonna touch it here real quick just to make sure. Perfect. I'm just looking at the microscope. Perfect. Look from the side real quick. All right, so we'll do the second one real quick. It's been a while since I did surface mount. Get this one on there right away. And again, we'll use the same technique. We'll go ahead and put some paste on there. Here we go. Come on. Okay. Like I said, it usually takes just a very little bit of amount of solder paste. Got a real tiny needle on here, so it's real hard. It's like real hard to push. come on. Alright. I gotta reposition my hand. Let's take that off of there. Alright, now that I got it repositioned, let's do it again. I can squeeze nice and easily. I'll have to do a tutorial on soldering. I'll get my camera set up better so you guys can see this real good. Let's grab that chip again. Perfect. Like I said, that'll be sucked up and the chip will be lined. It's kind of neat watching it. Alright, let's get some hot air on there. Okay, coming up with hot air. Oh, darn it. See how that just magically sucks the chip right to where it's supposed to go? That's the neatest thing. Just making sure. All right. I touched up some of those leads real quick. Okay. Perfect. And if you ever get a solder bridge, all you have to do is take your soldering iron and just touch it like that, and you'll pull the solder bridge right off. It's real easy to do, and if you got a little bit too much to do that, then you can use a little bit of flux. And all right, that looks pretty darn good now. I'm happy with that, so we'll go ahead and we'll continue soldering all the other pieces onto there. I do have some footage now that it was on my microscope, so you get see some real up close footage of this. So we'll start again with the resistors, since those guys are the ones that are closest to the board. Alright, so we'll start out with the 22K resistor. First, may speed this up since we're doing the second board here, and it's the same as the first board that we did. I may speed this up. Now we'll do a couple 10K resistors. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll speed these up, make this go a little bit quicker. Or put some nice music onto them. You don't have to hear me ramble. There we go. They sure gave me a lot of 330 ohm resistors for some reason. Alright, I think we got all the leads there. Try to do that underneath my magnifying glass again, or my microscope, so I apologize if that seemed a little slow. All right, let's get those. Let's go with the 10K and the 50K resistors again. Some of that solder off my tip. All right, that looks pretty good. Next, we'll do some capacitors. Oh. Alright, we'll get these capacitors on there real quick. Oops. Just put it back on the black mat instead of on my stand for my microscope. Oops. That looks real good. Cut those off. All right. Well, we forgot. Oh, where is that? We're missing one capacitor. There should be. All right. All right. Da-da-da. Alright, now we'll put that chip in. That being one of the last things that we will do. Go again. I'll crank this one through. Alright, that looks real good. That went real fast. No gaps there. Alright, to the last, the LEDs. Again, the green, 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 and yellow and red. I find it much easier to use longer leads as opposed to trying to look for the little slant cutoff on the. Oops. But trap, did you see that? That one there was wrong. This one here was actually, the yellow one was actually cut. There's the flat side. If I can get out of the camera. And there's the flat side. Come on, focus. Yep, she's backwards. I gotta check that out. Bear with me. Alright, I checked it. The longer lead was positive. Go figure. I suppose this one's going to be the same way. Well, that's two LEDs now. That, I should say, just one LED where it was backwards. That's proper as well. those straight. This will go real fast again. Oh, there, just want to put a little bit more on there. Perfect. All right. So now we have the two boards ready to go. And I'm going to stop here, and we're going to wire those up real quick, and then I'm going to peel the stickers off the plexiglass case sides, and then we will go from there. Alright, so we're going to tin some of the leads here now for some of these wires, and this is for the headphone jack. I'm just going to put a little bit of tinning on there, and we'll secure that. Perfect. Now we'll go over the wire setup and stuff, but I just wanted to quickly put on the speaker jack, which you see right here, and it's kind of nice to have these little helping hands. They really do work pretty cool. Let's get them in the right order here. Oh, of course I didn't tin them short enough. Let's trim that edge off. We'll get her on there. Again, I'm coming at it from an angle, so makes it a little bit tougher to do it. And again, we'll use the needle nose to get that wire in there. Perfect. Alright, so I got to get all three of them backed up in there so that the there we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and crimp this real quick. You can see where I'm crimping it there, because we don't want that to come undone. And I'm not going to do it too hard. Worst case is I'll have to solder it later if it ever does come loose. But we just want to have some pull on it so it doesn't come undone. And now I'm gonna solder these connections on there. Let's push these down again because they got to fit inside the connector or the cover. Gotta love these little helping hands. They really, if you don't have one, I suggest to get one of those. A couple bucks. They're a dime a dozen on eBay. I don't want to put too much on there, just enough to secure it. It's not going to come undone accidentally. To the ground one. That's all we need. Those are on there pretty good. So I will snip off the extra. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll thread up the lead there. Looky there. Perfect. Now we got ourselves a nice connector there. It's got strain relief on there. And I may heat that up a little bit, see if that shrinks. And there you go. Alright everybody, we got everything wired up here. I went ahead and did it off camera just so that I wouldn't waste time just stripping wires and putting them in holes and soldering them. So you can see we have, they gave us a four cable wire and a 3 cable wire. And this one here goes between, this one here goes between both boards. And then we have a dedicated phono jack that is over here, and then we have a power jack, USB power jack, that are these 2 wires over here. I'll get a little bit closer for you so you can see them. Then of course we have the speaker wire that's in there, but piece of cake, no sense doing that on camera. It's kind of boring for you. What we're going to do now is assemble the case and then put all of the works inside of it and see how it sounds. Now I'm going to assemble the case on camera, but I'm going to speed it up so that it goes real fast. Otherwise it's going to take a long time. So let me move the guts out of the way here. And we have a ton of different screws, bolts, and other things of that nature. You know, let me grab a case and we'll put all those so we don't lose them. And there we go. We got a ton of different boards to do, so I will go ahead and start assembling this. Alright, so now we finish with these speakers. Little note, when you do put these together, there is a little bit of a gap to let the wire out. If you see it right there, I missed that the first time, and I had the circuit board on there sideways, so I had to go back and unscrew that and align it so that that wire went through the gap. That's on both of them. So I have them plugged into my iPod. I have some royalty-free music that I got off the internet, and we're going to give these guys a little try right now. Alright, so there you go. Like I said, this was the Gikfun Mini Electronic Transparent Speaker Kit. Do it yourself. Approximately $18 for these. It was actually a pretty fun kit to put together. The speaker qualities, they actually sound better than I thought they would. You know, a little 2-inch speaker woofer. I knew I wasn't going to get the awesome sound out of it, not like a Bose speaker or a JBL Lansing, but it really does sound better than what I thought it was going to sound, and I think these will work great with my laptop to have a little supplemental sound with it. And what we can do in the future, I think, is go ahead and try and add some Bluetooth to it. If you hold on a second, I'll show you what the Bluetooth module looks like. Let me get that 1 second. So here you go. This is what the Bluetooth modules look like, and you can pick these up on eBay for just a couple bucks. And I think we'll go ahead and we'll upgrade it. You can see we got the speaker there. We get 5-volt power through a USB, so we have all the connections going to these speakers. So it should be really easy to actually wire these up and have both the Bluetooth capable and a jack capable as well. So once again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel so that I can keep growing and I can come back to you with more and more videos. With that, you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.